This is a technical analysis and XRP Ripple price prediction. XRP gets 60% boost in last 30 days. Ripple win versus SEC seen to lift price higher. XRP Ripple up 5. Ripple XRP price prediction 2025 to 2030. Can Ripple beat SEC to push XRP to $10? Price prediction for Ripple in 2030. XRP gets 60% boost in last 30 days. Ripple win versus SEC seen to lift price higher. XRP is in a holding pattern as it awaits the outcome of a lawsuit launched by the Securities and Exchange Commission against Ripple Labs. The expected average price of XRP in October 2022 is 50 cents. At one time, XRP was up over 60%. Ripple Labs continues to score procedural victories with the SEC. On December 22, 2020, the regulatory authority said that it had filed a complaint against the American technology company and two of its executives for selling XRP, which it deems an unregistered security. Christian Larson, co-founder and previous CEO of Ripple Labs, and Bradley Garlinghouse, current CEO, were both named in the case as they were accused of generating roughly $600 million by selling the cryptocurrency. Since then, the digital asset seems to have been pushed to the margins, negatively impacting its performance in the crypto world. In fact, XRP has already lost 85% of its all-time high of $3.40 reached on May 22, 2014. The cryptocurrency, on the other hand, is refusing to be pulled down, steadily regaining prominence. XRP is now trading at 51 cents. It has fallen by 1.7% in the last hour, but has risen by about 60% in the previous 30 days. The asset's recent price fall reduced its monthly gain, which currently stands at 50.3%. Nonetheless, despite the dismal month of September, the sixth biggest cryptocurrency by market capitalization is one of the few cryptocurrencies to launch a positive rebound. A district court recently ordered the release of papers relevant to a speech given by former division director William Hinman in which he said that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. Some commentators feel that one of the reasons for the cryptocurrency's excellent growth is that Ripple Labs was able to obtain procedural victories against the SEC in their legal battle. XRP's price fluctuated in the beginning of this year, influencing price forecasts for the asset. Crypto experts predict that the asset's average price will be 50 cents this month. This October, the lowest potential price for the cryptocurrency is 45 cents, while the maximum possible price is 51 cents. XRP is predicted to trade at an average price of 51 cents in November, according to research. The cryptocurrency is anticipated to reach a high of 53 cents and a low of 48 cents. XRP is likely to achieve and retain the $1 milestone in the near future if Ripple Labs ultimately wins its legal battle with the SEC. Bitcoin, Ethereum rally, XRP Ripple up 5% as crypto markets see uptrend. The cryptocurrency markets have risen in the previous 24 hours. Bitcoin, Ripple, Polygon Matic, and other cryptocurrencies have risen from their earlier positions. Layer 1 blockchain network coins like ADA, Sol, and AVAX have surpassed their prior rankings. Shiba Inu and Dogecoin are two more meme coins that are trading in the green. Stablecoins remain tied to the dollar. This morning's cryptocurrency values are in the green. The worldwide cryptocurrency market valuation has increased by 0.83%. and now stands at $947.48 billion, albeit it is still less than $1 trillion. The entire cryptocurrency market volume in the previous 24 hours is $33.28 billion, representing a 1.86% increase. The overall volume of stablecoins is $30.28 billion, accounting for 91.34% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB have all gained ground in the previous 24 hours. Bitcoin is now trading at $19,458, up 0.56%. It has a 39.52% market share. The native currency of the Ethereum network has risen 1.29% to $1,325. Despite the recent attack in the ecosystem, BNB, the native coin of Binance Smart Chain, has seen a 1.09% increase. USDT Tether stablecoin's value increased by 0.01% in the past 24 hours and is now trading at $1. USDC stablecoin rose 0.01% and is now worth $1. DAI, a stablecoin, gained 0.07% and is now worth 99 cents. Binance USD, or BUSD, had a 0.01% increase in value during the previous 24 hours. The stablecoin is currently worth $1. Over the previous 24 hours, all prominent cryptos native to Layer 1 blockchain networks, including as Ripple, Solana, Avalanche, and Cardano, have seen upward momentum. Solana blockchain SOL increased by 1.01%, while Avalanche's AVAX increased by 0.82%. Cardano's ADA increased by 0.56%. XRP Ripple increased by 5.75%. Polkadot's original cryptocurrency, DOT, and Polygon's native crypto token, Matic, both showed signs of growth. Over the previous 24 hours, the DOT token has increased by 3.05%, while Polygon's Matic crypto token has increased by 3.16%. Memecoins have gained traction. Dogecoin is up 0.36% in the previous 24 hours, while Shiba Inu, a joke currency, is up 0.51%. Over the past 24 hours, the bulk of the top cryptocurrency tokens has seen an upswing from their prior levels. Ripple price prediction 2025 to 2030. Can Ripple beat SEC to push XRP to $10? XRP has increased by more than 56% in the previous 30 days, which is a great performance. While this is true for the 1-month term, the cryptocurrency has been somewhat volatile inside that span. The majority of the volatility is caused by developments in the ongoing SEC v. Ripple case. This fascinating case has investors and traders anxiously watching developments in the hopes of profiting from minor price swings. However, for those who want to keep the cryptocurrency and play the long game, it is vital to go beyond these events and investigate what makes XRP valuable and how it will contribute in the future. CB Insights published its FinTech 250 study on October 4th. Ripple was one of the highlighted firms in this study on the most promising names in FinTech. In terms of ESG, Ripple announced a strategic partnership with Web3 carbon offset marketplace Thallo. This initiative aims to improve the efficiency and openness of voluntary carbon markets. Looking at the token statistics, CoinMarketCap data indicated that XRP was trading at 51 cents at the time of publication. The market capitalization was $25.7 billion at the time. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency had a $2.3 billion 24-hour trading volume. Ripple, XRP, and everything in between. Ripple's 2017 partnership with Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank was a watershed moment. Following that, it briefly became the second biggest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. A year later, Ripple made headlines again for its collaboration with worldwide banking behemoth Santander Group on a cross-border transaction app. At the present, Ripple has almost no competitors. They are the top crypto business serving financial institutions worldwide. As the number of collaborations grows, so will the value of XRP. Ripple has capitalized on the need for speedy transactions and other latent possibilities in developing economies, given that countries in Latin America and Asia Pacific are more likely than their first world counterparts to see the value of blockchain and its tokens. With the emergence of central bank digital currency, poorer nations wanting to investigate this option are likely to choose Ripple since it already provides a well-established cross-border framework. As CBDCs become more popular, financial institutions will contemplate incorporating cryptocurrency into their services. Ripple will benefit greatly from this since RippleNet is already linked to a lot of institutions. Ripple's central bank partners interested in entering the CBDC market are being given blockchain solutions that include the ability to use the XRP ledger through a private sidechain. Ripple is expected to grow fast during the projected period because to its versatility in accounting, investing, smart contract implementation, and decentralized programming. Because of its cheap cost of entry, XRP has an advantage over its competitors. The fact that a few dollars may purchase tens of XRP seems to be tempting to new investors, particularly those who like small investments. According to Evaluate's estimate, the cryptocurrency sector would be worth $4.94 billion by 2030, with a CAGR of 12.8%. This will assist a lot of cryptocurrency companies, including Ripple. The cryptocurrency industry is expanding due to increased need for operational efficiency and transparency in financial payment systems, as well as increased demand for remittances in developing countries. The main premise is that when financial institutions embrace RippleNet, the platform and its native coin will get greater prominence. This has also been taken into account when making projections for 2025 and beyond. The press time price of XRP was significantly below its all-time high of $3.84 in January 2018. In fact, its price was closer to its initial price than to its all-time high. However, as XRP returned on the charts, so did its market capitalization. At the time of publication, it was valued at $25.7 billion. The SEC case and its consequences. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed a complaint against Ripple Labs on December 22, 2020. According to the complaint, Ripple generated $1.3 billion via the sale of unregistered securities. Furthermore, the SEC charged Ripple's senior executives, Christian Larson and Brad Garlinghouse, claiming that they realized personal profits totaling $600 million in the process. The SEC contended that XRP should be classified as a security rather than a cryptocurrency, and so fall under their jurisdiction. A decision in favor of the SEC would create an unfavorable legal precedent for the entire crypto market. This is why industry stakeholders are keeping a careful eye on this case. It is clear that developments in the litigation have a direct influence on the price of XRP. Following the announcement of the lawsuit in 2020, XRP dropped about 25%. In April 2021, the court granted Ripple a little success by providing them access to the SEC's internal papers, causing XRP to surpass the $1 barrier, a figure that the cryptocurrency had not exceeded in 3 years, according to a tweet by defense attorney James Fillon on the 15th of August 2022. The United States District Court for the Southern District of New York dealt the SEC yet another setback when Judge Sarah Netburn granted Ripple's motion to serve subpoenas to obtain a set of video recordings for the purpose of authentication, dismissing the regulator's claim that Ripple was attempting to reopen discovery. This was in response to Ripple's motion, which was filed on August 3, 2022. In her opinion and order, Judge Sarah Netburn chastised the SEC for its hypocrisy, and acts that showed the agency was adopting its litigation positions to promote its desired aim, rather than out of a genuine adherence to the law. Whatever the outcome of the litigation is, it will have a long-term influence on the value of XRP. It is crucial to highlight that if the SEC wins, XRP will become a security only in the United States, since the agency does not have authority outside the country's boundaries. Given that Ripple does a significant amount of business abroad, this should mitigate some of the impact. Carol Alexander, University of Sussex professor of finance, feels that XRP is unlike any other cryptocurrency. She thinks that if Ripple can defeat the SEC litigation, it will be able to take on the SWIFT financial system. SWIFT is a communications network used by financial organizations to send information and instructions securely. In an interview with CNBC, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse discussed the prospect of an IPO after the SEC issue is concluded. The IPO of Ripple will have a huge influence on the price of XRP in the coming years. Garlinghouse also claimed in an interview with Axios at Collision 2022 that the current price of XRP has already factored in Ripple losing the lawsuit. What happens if Ripple loses the case? It's really simply the status quo, he continued. In terms of his own prediction for the ruling, Garlinghouse believes it will be in favor of Ripple. I'm betting on it because I believe the facts favor us. I'm guessing because the law is on our side, he said. Surprisingly, support for Ripple and XRP has not been widespread, with Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin recently stating, XRP already forfeited their claim to protection when they sought to label us as China-controlled, in my opinion. In court and in the press, the case filed by Ripple and the SEC is not limited to the courts. The issue is often addressed in the media, with both sides appearing in many op-eds, frequently attacking one another. Just this month, the Wall Street Journal disclosed a heated conversation between the market watchdog and the cryptocurrency startup. In an op-ed essay published in the Wall Street Journal on August 10th, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler repeated his views on the classification of crypto assets and their control. Make no mistake, if a lending platform offers securities, it comes within the authority of the SEC. Chairman Gensler went on to mention the regulator's $100 million settlement with BlockFi, noting that the crypto markets must adhere to time-tested securities regulations. According to the terms of the agreement, BlockFi must restructure its operations to conform with the U.S. Investment Company Act of 1940 as well as register under the Securities Act of 1933 to offer its products. In reaction to Chairman Gensler's op-ed, Stu Alderoty penned his own article in the Wall Street Journal, and he didn't hold back when criticizing the regulator. Alderoty accused Gensler of sidelining other regulators and exceeding its power, in contrast to U.S. President Joe Biden's executive order, which required agencies to collaborate on crypto rules. What we need is regulatory certainty for crypto, not the SEC swinging its billy club to preserve its territory at the cost of the almost 40 million Americans involved in the crypto economy, Alderoty continued. According to a contentious Forbes article published on August 28 by Rosalind Layton, the SEC's Crypto Assets Unit has been engaged in over 200 litigations since 2017. According to Layton, this statistic shows that rather than developing clear standards to assure compliance, the regulator will rather sue crypto businesses in an effort to govern via enforcement. Ripple CTO David Schwartz got into a Twitter spat with Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin earlier this month when Buterin made a jab at XRP. Schwartz replied to Buterin's post by equating miners in POW ecosystems such as Ethereum to investors in corporations such as eBay. I believe it is completely reasonable to compare miners in POW systems to investors in corporations. Miners in ETH and BTC benefit from the remaining friction between buyers and sellers that eBay does not eliminate, just as eBay shareholders do, Schwartz noted. Putting an exact number on the future price of XRP is not an easy task. However, as long as there are cryptocurrencies, there will be cryptocurrency experts weighing in on market moves. Price prediction for Ripple in 2025. Changelly has compiled an average projection for XRP of 47 cents by the end of 2022. Changelly has set a maximum price for XRP of $1.47 to $1.76 in 2025. According to the findings of a panel of 36 industry experts, XRP should be worth $3.61 by 2025. It should be emphasized that not all of those specialists agree with that prediction. Some fear that the cryptocurrency will not even exceed the $1 mark by 2025. Keegan Francis, Finder's global cryptocurrency editor, disagrees with the panel of experts. He believes XRP will be valued 50 cents by the end of 2025 and, unexpectedly, just 10 cents by 2030. According to Nasdaq statistics, the average prediction for 2025 is roughly $3.66. Price prediction for Ripple in 2030. Finder's analysts predicted a relatively low price for XRP in 2030. They anticipate the cryptocurrency will reach $4.98 by 2030. Matthew Harry, the head of funds at DigitalX Asset Management, disclosed in a statement to Finder that he sees no use in XRP other than speculation. The average forecast for 2030, according to statistics given on the Nasdaq website, is roughly $18.39. Conclusion: year-to-date numbers from Ripple's Q2 financial report show that, despite the dip in the price of XRP, demand for their on-demand liquidity service not only remained unaffected, but instead increased by 9 times year-over-year, with ODL sales totaling $2.1 billion in Q2. According to the research, Ripple has promised $100 million for carbon removal initiatives in order to meet its carbon neutral and sustainability targets. According to Ripple's Crypto Trends study, NFTs and CBDCs are still in their early phases, and when their potential is realized, the influence on Ripple's network and the larger blockchain environment will be obvious. It should be mentioned that, although many experts anticipate that the price of XRP will rise in the next years, others say that it will lose all value by the end of the decade. The following are the primary elements that will impact the price of XRP in the future years. After the SEC complaint is completed, the IPO's verdict. Partnerships with financial institutions, CBDC adoption by central banks. Predictions are not immune to changing conditions, and they must be modified when new information becomes available. With the fear and greed index still failing to rebound, XRP and the rest of the crypto market are destined to be linked with uncertainty at the moment. Also, we present analysis on Bitcoin and Bitcoin news today. We cover tickers, XRP, BTC, Cardano, ETH technical analysis, and BNB Hive. We also going to add explanations on topics such as how to stake Luna Classic and BNB Miner works. Our videos cover BTC technical analysis, Luna Classic price prediction, Binance USD analysis, and more, Metin 2F. In the next weeks we will add VeChain live news in our videos and Ethereum mainnet details. This is Crypto Block IQ. Subscribe to this channel to get the latest price analysis and trading systems signals. We focus on LUNC news today, Terra Luna Classic news today, Luna Classic price prediction. Also, we present analysis on Bitcoin and Bitcoin news today. We cover tickers, XRP, BTC, Cardano, ETH technical analysis, and BNB Hive. We also going to add explanations on topics such as how to stake Luna Classic and BNB Miner works. Our videos cover BTC technical analysis, Luna Classic price prediction, Binance USD analysis, and more, Metin 2F. In the next weeks we will add VeChain live news in our videos and Ethereum mainnet details. Write down below in the comments what is your strategy for the next few days. Click the card on the right to get to more Bitcoin price prediction analysis.